because he can't quit her.
A battlefield I can predict. A salon full of silk and secrets. Never.
They're only staring because you're the only interesting man here.
My general writes so many letters.
I'll write you an empire. Pack your things. By dawn, all France will know you're...
I chose you.
The autumn air carried the scent of burning leaves through Paris as Joséphine de Beauharnais entered the crowded salon. The year was 1795, and though the reign of terror had ended, danger still whispered through the city's gilded halls. She moved through the room like a shadow in her pink silk dress, the one she'd dyed 3 times to hide its age, letting her fingers trail along the edges of furniture as she went.
The Italian campaign requires seasoned leadership, not Corsican arithmetic.
At the far end of the room, a young officer stood awkwardly by the fireplace. Napoleon Bonaparte, just 26 years old, fidgeted with the 2 long sleeves of his uniform. Joséphine watched as he tried to join a conversation about military tactics, only to be ignored by the older generals. A slow smile curved her lips as she reached for a glass of wine.
Clumsy me,
she murmured as the dark liquid splashed down the front of Napoleon's coat. His head snapped up, dark eyes flashing with surprise, then softening as he took in her delicate features and the way her chestnut curls framed her face.
Forgive me, General,
she said, already leaning in, dabbing gently at the stain with a lace-edged handkerchief.
My hand must have slipped.
His voice, low and dry, cracked through the silence.
A battlefield I can predict. A salon full of silk and secrets? Never.
She smiled, not apologetic, but knowing. Around them, the room buzzed back to life with murmurs and darting eyes. She leaned in closer, lips just shy of his ear. Her whisper was warm.
Pay no attention to them. They're only staring because you're the only interesting man here.
You're not from here. Your accent, it betrays you.
Martinique. And betrayal's such a harsh word, isn't it?
He studied her, not the stain, not the curl of her smile, but the glint beneath it.
You did that on purpose.
She blinked, feigning innocence.
And what if I did?
Their eyes held, a taut line strung between mischief and danger. That night, in Napoleon's modest apartment near the barracks, he spoke fervently about his vision for France. His hands moved like a general already commanding armies. Joséphine smiled, fingers idly tracing the table, silently calculating how much his ambition might be worth to her. Their wedding followed swiftly, a quiet ceremony, quickly eclipsed by Napoleon's command of the army of Italy. On their wedding night, Joséphine lay on the bed as he stood naked by the window, sketching battle plans in moonlight. His back was lined with scars, 18 pale ridges from a Corsican boyhood of hardship. My general writes so many letters, she purred. I'll write you an empire, he replied, eyes burning with promise. For a moment, she almost believed him. While Napoleon marched toward glory in Italy, Joséphine remained in Paris, wrapped in jewels he sent and dresses bought with his pay. And when the charming cavalry officer Hippolyte Charles admired her at a ball, she didn't turn him away. Napoleon had the letter in hand, proof of Joséphine's infidelity with Hippolyte Charles. His grip tightened as he entered their silent Paris townhouse. Dust sheets covered the furniture. A fallen perfume bottle, its scent faded, lay on her vanity. Above, a floorboard creaked. Joséphine appeared in the doorway, her dressing gown slipping from one shoulder. For a moment, she looked as she had years ago, then her eyes dropped to the letter in his hand. Bonaparte. Empress. His voice was cold. She lunged for the papers. He pulled back, sending a miniature portrait of Hippolyte skidding across the floor.
Pack your things. By dawn, all France will know you're...
I chose you.
She dropped to her knees. He meant nothing. Tears darkened his clothes. I chose you. I saw the Emperor. The clock struck 3. Napoleon picked up the portrait, snapped it in half. Burn his letters. He turned. Pray I don't return tonight. When he was gone, Joséphine wiped her tears. Smiled. The game wasn't over yet.
Because he can't quit her.
The cathedral trembled with organ notes as Napoleon seized the crown from the Pope's hands. Gold flashed, not on the pontiff's fingers, but on his own. A calculated insult to Europe, to God, to tradition. Then came Joséphine's turn. She approached, her silver-embroidered gown pooling like liquid mercury. The court held its breath. When Napoleon raised the smaller crown, her knees hit the velvet cushion with practiced grace. But her smile, tighter than a corset lace, betrayed the truth. This was no honor. It was a brand. She's only here because he can't quit her, Talleyrand murmured behind a gloved hand. The cracks widened. 1809. 5 winters later, the same hands that crowned her now pushed divorce papers across a desk. Joséphine's reflection in the palace window showed a woman still beautiful, but barren. No heir. Only debts, roses at Malmaison, and the lingering scent of bergamot on Napoleon's letters, now addressed as my dear friend. When she signed, the pen left no stain. Empires, like hearts, demanded sacrifices. The gates of Malmaison swung shut behind Joséphine like the cover of a storybook. No longer empress, yet far from ordinary, she turned the palace into her own living museum. Glass houses burst with exotic blooms, crimson hibiscus from Martinique, golden tulips from Constantinople. Visitors whispered that her famous roses grew best where her tears fell.